Hi. Oh my God, there's so much that I really want to say. So much has happened since I last shared my poem and how I happen to have written that poem. So much has happened in the world. So much has happened in my family. There have been two hurricanes, and I only have two offspring, and each of them was in the place of the hurricane. One was in Puerto Rico, very near where the hurricane hit land. The other offspring was 40-minute ride from where the hurricane hit the land. And it's at moments like this that we recognize and realize so much, so much. We recognize and realize so much. For example, we realize how much we love our family members. We realize how uncertain the life is that we live. We understand that we are affected by what's happening, not just with our families, but with the families all around the world. We identify with what they're going through. And even as we may be feeling very grateful that we're not experiencing what we know others are experiencing, we feel for them. We care about them. We put ourselves in their places. We know they have children. We know they have homes. We know they have lives that are in turmoil. Whether it be because of war, or whether it be because of floods, or whether it be because of weather, hurricanes and tornadoes, that one moment a family can be situated comfortably, and in 24 hours their lives can be forever altered. So that's what's been happening to me. And has that been happening to you also, as you have listened to all the different things that are happening around the world? There are different things that are happening, and some of them are political in nature. When we look at the divergent forces that are operating in our world, in our communities, in our country, and in other countries around the world, and how does one cope with that? How does one respond to that? Well, as I have mentioned to you before, I have a deep spiritual nature, and it's because I have traveled many religious paths, and through the process of my learning so much from different cultures, from different backgrounds, about our life, our world, how traditions in different places have come across principles and ideas that they hold to be true. And it gave me uttermost respect and regard. And it actually validated some things I already had discovered and realized within my own heart. I've been a storyteller, and I looked for universal themes. And I looked for universal themes because I wanted the language to be clear. I wanted people to be able to extract from my presentations something that would connect them with people in other places, in other backgrounds. And so I found creation stories, and I found stories that had been passed down from one generation to another, and I learned a few of them, and I told them. So let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, in the heart of Africa, there lived a king who loved everything beautiful. He loved beautiful songs, beautiful flowers, beautiful food, beautiful music. But more than anything, he loved beautiful children. In that village, there lived a little girl whose name was Ima. Ima's mother loved her so very much. But when Ima was young, her mother died, and Ima was left to be cared for by her father. He did a marvelous job, but he realized that she needed the care of a mother. And he went out into his village and he chose a woman who would come in and help him to raise his beautiful daughter, Ima. Imagine the woman comes and she enters the home and she sees Ima, and something inside of her that was not very kind raised up, and it was an emotion. It was not positive. It was jealousy. She was jealous because Ima was very, very beautiful. Not just beautiful on the outside. Her mother had instilled character into Ima, and so she was beautiful and she had a glow. And she was going to demonstrate to this lady that her beauty went very deep. As soon as the father left the house, she started in on Ima. Shut up, girl! Whenever Ima would try to say anything. Shut up, I said! But Ima's mother had taught her something. She had taught her something about the breath. And anytime anything happened that was negative, Ima's mother had taught her to just breathe it away, to take a deep breath in and to take in love and to take in beauty, just take in goodness and just release and let go of anything that could be disturbing or upsetting. And so Ima was actually very well prepared for her stepmother. And of course, there would be things that she would learn, but there would also be something that Ima would demonstrate to her stepmother. Do you remember the king, the one who loved everything beautiful? Well, the king decided to have a celebration. He decided to honor all the beautiful children in his village. But only one child would be chosen from each family to receive a gift. By this time, the stepmother, she had a child or two of her own. And she heard that the king had this great celebration and that he would be loving and celebrating the beautiful children. And she knew that Ima was the most beautiful. And so on the day that they were to go down to the square, the community square, where there was drumming and food, and the king was sitting there looking at the beautiful children. Ima's stepmother decided that she was not going to allow Ima to look beautiful in a beautiful dress. She dressed her children in beautiful clothing, but she made Ima put on house dress. In fact, she tried to leave without even taking Ima. She told Ima to go in the backyard and clean up or something, and she was trying to get out of the front door, and Ima saw her and said, "Please, where are you going? Where are you going?" And she said, "Come on, come on, come on." And she took Ima out to go towards the king, who was waiting and looking at the beautiful children. And so as they walked, the people watched and the people commented, "Oh, what beautiful children. But the child in the house dress, she's the most beautiful." Well, the stepmother heard, And she walked with the children until she came across a store. And she took Ema into the store, found a large dress, a dress that was much too big for Ema. And she insisted that Ema put the dress on. Put the dress on, she said to Ema. And Ema was always listening. She put the dress on. She was very confident in herself. And as they walked out, the people watched and they commented, "Oh, what beautiful children, but the one that is in a dress that is far too big for her, she is the most beautiful." So the stepmother became upset. She became so upset, but what could she do but take Ema down to the square? They were very near by then. So as they walked in, the king was looking over, and he was going over and he was choosing the most beautiful child. Some children he gave gold, some he gave diamonds, some he gave money. But when he saw Ema, he knew that Ema was the most beautiful little girl in his village. And he adopted her to be his own daughter. So that's the story of Ema, and it is an African story. I came across this story in an event in Brooklyn. They would have cultural events and they would sell things, and this was, oh my, more than 40 years ago. And I have told this story so many times, and each time I tell it, it might be different. But whenever I tell it, I always share that it has a moral. Can you think of the moral of the story? Think about the story. And what do you think the moral of the story is? And write it down in the chat for me. Okay? Write the story down in the chat. And the next time I see you, I'll tell you the moral of the story. Bye. Queen Mother of the Universe, Abiwa, the storyteller.